So it comes with a Ziploc like this. There are also papers for you to spit the gums.
People who are looking at my podcast right now, even they would, start asking themselves, why am I watching this,
Exactly.
podcast? Good gum, it's not relevant to me. So who are your consumers and what they can expect from this product?
Third variant that we have is a dental gum. Now this is where it gets interesting because all our chewing gums are anti-cavity, but this dental gum, it'll just prevent cavities and it's fun to eat.
So this is for kids as
It's
well.
for
So
kids as
my
well.
son would be super happy.
100%. So earlier, when we started, we called ourselves.
So your product is a sustainable product wherein in Indian market it is very difficult to sustain. Have you ever thought or probably have worried on it, like saying, have such kind of product, it will be very difficult for me to sustain in the market, or probably it will be very difficult to compete the established brands. What is the take on that? Coming to you being in the Shark Tank, right? It is something which is very interesting for me to talk about because, Shark Tank also gives a bigger platform, for you to showcase what your product is all about, right? So how was your experience at Shark Tank? Welcome, Mayank. Welcome to High on Y. It's great to have you here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for calling me here.
Okay, Mike, we have a sync in a way. I'm also from the food background. I've done my food process engineering. And to know you, first I know you that as you're a chemical engineer, and then you have done your food production in masters, which is too fascinating for me to read, who is very similar in what I have done. Yes.
Yeah.
To start with, I wanted to start with saying I have seen few of your videos. You have done a lot of interviews earlier as well.
Yeah.
So I've seen in one of your videos saying, we try to eat healthy these days, even when we are outside.
Yeah.
So on that note, you said people look for salads.
Yeah.
Okay, so in salads, to make it more tasty, they use a lot of mayonnaise and stuff, which is still, again, which is like a question mark, like which is healthy, salad or a burger, right? And also from my point, being a food safety auditor, I've also gone to a lot of kitchens. So I also prefer, a cooked food which is cooked at 100 degrees Celsius rather than, it's a raw food, something raw, because you never know where it came from, how it's been cleaned, and what's the process gone inside. So it's always better to eat cooked food outside. So I also want you to elaborate on this note.
Yeah, absolutely. See, you've got to understand where you're eating. So first, the hygiene of the restaurant. Like you clearly mentioned that, salads might not be as safe as an option if you're eating in a random restaurant where even, like a basic table hygiene is not maintained, right? That's the bare minimum that you'd want. And talking about salads in general these days, there's so many companies out there making dressings, making vinaigrettes so high on salt, so high on fat, so that, people think that they're eating healthy by eating salads, but at the end of the day, all of that sodium, all of that excess fat is taking them nowhere. Plus you see a lot of bread being used, croutons being used in the same salad, like the breadcrumbs and all of that. So I would say I would rather eat like a blend of salad with a burger than just a salad, because I will somewhere reach out for something greasy after that salad any which ways, right? So might as well have like the best of both worlds, and that would be like your
go-to.
My go-to.
So I prefer, dal roti sabji. That's
best. Yeah,
most
whatever is
preferable.
made at home, what our grandmothers used to eat.
No, outside also that's more better than
100%.
having.
At
this.
least it's cooked.
It's cooked, yeah. Okay, so on that note, I have seen a lot of your Instagram videos wherein you review a lot of products. Okay, so I have few products here. I've brought in few products which is majorly available in Swiggy, Zepto, and Blinkit. So I want you to review it for viewers.
Super. Let's bring it on.
Okay, so with this segment, we'll start the complete conversation. So we'll finish this segment and then we'll go ahead. So this segment is all about, which is completely your forte, which you do on your Instagram. I'll be giving you 3 to 4 products. You just have to review it, saying the nutritional facts. Yeah.
Works.
Yeah. Bring the products. So we'll start with the first product. Okay. So this is a good atta biscuit.
Great. So see, I'll particularly look at, are there any front of pack claims that they make, which they probably are lying about, and then compare it to the back of pack, because what is mentioned on the back of pack always has to be on point. Like you can't lie about it. So this product, The ingredient list says whole wheat flour, edible hydrogenated vegetable fat, bakery shortening, that's basically palm oil or dalda. Then there's jaggery, there's fennel seeds, custard powder, milk solids, iodized salt, raising agent. So I would say it's like probably a 5 on 10, just because it has atta and jaggery doesn't mean it's healthy.
It's healthy.
Because at the end of the day, there's hydrogenated vegetable fat, and that's also about 21%. And it also has other ingredients like raising agents, etc. So probably, like just compare this to a Parle G, it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
So 5 on 10 for this.
5 on 10 possibly. Yeah.
Okay, done. So it's like okay.
Midway.
Midway.
Yeah.
And just don't see that it's made of good and atta.
Yeah.
And consume it.
Exactly.
So please know what's gone inside this
Exactly.
and consume. So our next product is from Sweet Karam Coffee.
Okay.
This is something which is trending right now.
Yeah. Super. So see, they make so many front of pack claims,
Yes.
like no maida, no palm oil, no preservatives. Now maida by default a tapioca chip will not have. So these are just claims to make it look.
Yeah. There was
in
no
a
necessity
higher
for
number,
them to
exactly.
actually write it.
And then there's no palm oil, so that's great, because majority of the chips out there are fried in palm oil. Made with rice bran oil, great, zero trans fat. And ingredient list quite simple. There's cassava root, rice bran oil, chili powder, edible common salt. So simple, straightforward product. It's a proper 8 on 10, 9 on 10, because it's still, like they mentioned that there are 3 servings in this packet. But if you did not read this, if I opened the packet, I'd probably finish all of it, right? So, but the company intends to share this with 3 other people. So it might as well make smaller packs or make it quite clear on the front of pack saying, okay, this is a 3 people pack. So this is where, people can go overboard and eat a lot more than they're actually supposed to.
Right. So that's a nice information, which is add-on information for all of us. Okay. So next one is makhana, where most of them, I also feel a lot of mommies are going for makhana for children. So one on this.
See, I like this brand in general, but where it goes out of control is the amount of salt or sodium that is in the masala. The makhana by itself is a great product, right? Like this was just makhana with some black pepper and a little bit of salt, great. But when they try to make it flavors like Pudina Party and all, they use flavor modulators to make it addictive. Like this, it has to be tasty. So you can look at this ingredient called flavor enhancer E627, which is probably MSG. That's what makes you feel like you want to eat more and more. So try doing this. You bring makhana at home and you try seasoning it at home without using any MSG, just some salt and chili powder. You will not be able to eat this much at once. But this pack, you'll open it and you'll be able to finish it off.
Keep eating.
Yeah, so people need to understand that, okay, makhana is great, but what's on the makhana? How much oil does it take to, make that masala stick? Because it's just 70% makhana, the rest of it is olive oil and the masalas. So I would say I eat it, but I still wouldn't say it's 100% 10 on 10, probably somewhere like 6 on 10, 7 on 10, because the masala has flavor enhancers.
But I think it's always a go-to product for children, because every time we can't have a homemade thing.
Correct.
So still okay.
So you can look for like just the black pepper, salt, seasoned makhanas,
not
and not
these
the spicy masalas.
Spicy flavors.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one last product, which is the Lotus Biscoff, which is like trending right
all
now.
the time.
So one on this.
Yeah. See, I used to love Biscoff when they did not used to make them in India.
Yeah.
Because
Same here,
it was
same here.
because when it was rare, it was fun to eat. Like if people were coming from abroad, then you'll ask them to bring some.
Yes.
But now when it's widely available, I don't know when was the last time I had it. It's been like 3-4 months possibly. And there's a lot of difference between the ingredients they use in Europe versus the ingredients they use here in India, purely for the price factor. Now the same packaging earlier when it was imported would sell for about 300-350 rupees, but now it's just 110 rupees because they've reduced the cost by using you can see edible vegetable oil. So there's palm oil. It's a blend of palm oil, sunflower oil and palm stearin. And then there's, they've used, apart from that, I don't see any problem with just a lot of sugar. So about 1/3 of this is sugar. 36
Right.
grams of sugar per 100 grams. So that's a lot of sugar. That's what makes it tasty. So once in a while I'd eat it, probably a 5 on 10. Yeah.
4 or 5 on
4
10.
and 5
And
on
as
10.
you said, yes, now, this biscuit is becoming desserts into desserts also,
Yeah.
right? All,
Yeah.
all the desserts, they're using biscuits.
Cheesecake, milkshake,
So this is
cookies.
like too much for us to,
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it. So as you said, once in a while is
Once
always
in a while
nice
is
to.
all right.
All right.
Yeah, but like if there's a cheesecake and then you put Biscoff on it, that cheesecake is already sweet, and then you're adding more Biscoff,
More Biscoff.
making it sweeter. So it's just not fun anymore. Earlier it
True.
used to be fun.
Yes, right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So, Mayank, to start with, okay, so there is a saying that innovation is something, it's not about, you build something new. It is about, old thing, old things something differently. That is what, I have read somewhere.
Yeah.
So, how Good Gum has come into this place? Is it the innovation in the product or it's the innovation in the perspective?
I think it's a mix of both. Like you see, a lot of people are going back to eating what their ancestors were eating, right? Until today, we were eating just ghee. Now
Yeah.
people talk about A2, Bilona ghee, because that was the process in which ghee was made in an ancient format.
Right.
So the same way, we thought of chewing gum. When I was doing my masters, I used to chew a lot of gum when I was in school, and when I was in school, we grew up in a family where we did not consume a lot of plastic. Even when sustainability was not the buzzword, we would have our own shopping bags. We would not buy a lot of packaged drinking water because that's the family that we grew up in. And when my teachers told me in 2010 that regular chewing gums are all made of plastic, I stopped.
Okay.
I said, okay, this is not necessary for me. Maybe at that time, to drink a tender coconut, a plastic straw was necessary because there was no other alternative. But I said, okay, chewing gum is not necessary, so I stopped chewing. And 7 years down the line, when I was studying in the UK, there would be a lot of self-research that you're doing. And that's when I realized that, the actual ancestral chewing gums were not even actually plastic. So if you ask your parents or any older people at home, they would call chewing gums chiclets. Right? And chiclets because it was made with an ingredient called chicle, which was the tree sap, right? And I thought to myself that okay, in India, everybody wants to eat healthier, but there's no alternative available.
Right.
And when you have such a strong differentiator that hey, all of your regular chewing gums are made of plastic, but I can make a chewing gum that is not plastic, then that becomes an easy way to even sell a product or even market, right? Because it's cutthroat competitive out there. And if you
Right.
don't have a strong differentiator, then why would a person want to buy a product, right?
Right. And
So-
it's also like an awareness giving to people. And
Exactly.
also to add on back those days, we just knew Boomer.
Correct.
Right, that was the only chewing gum
Yeah.
which we had, and after that, Center Fresh and lot other companies
Yeah.
came. And
Yeah.
Boomer we used to eat only because it gives that bubble effect.
Correct. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And once I also heard you saying it was one of the bad chewing gums.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it'll drill holes in your teeth. Right? Any of these sugar chewing gums, when they say kids get cavities so quickly, that's because they don't brush their teeth and they're eating a lot of sugary candies. And all of that sugar, when it stays in your mouth, it creates a very conducive atmosphere for bad bacteria in your mouth to thrive.
Right.
And that bad bacteria eats the sugar or any carbohydrate and excretes acid. That acid is what forms cavities. Right? So, on the contrary, a sugar-free chewing gum starves the bad bacteria. So it kills the bad bacteria. So that if there's no bad bacteria, then there's no acid. If there's no acid, then there's no cavity. That's why majority of the chewing gums market themselves as an anti-cavity chewing gum.
Okay.
So all of your 1 rupee chewing gum, Boomer, Center Fresh, Center Fruit, they are sweetened with sugar. And they will form cavities if you don't chew and gargle your mouth with water after it.
Why do you think people are so unaware about this product? Because we've been chewing gums from a very lot of time, from like I would say from 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
more than that, I
Yeah.
guess. So why do you think people don't see the nutritional labeling behind that? We see that what we are eating for other snack products and all that, but not for chewing gum.
Because it's not even
Right.
mentioned on the packaging. The packaging.
is it? It's not mentioned?
The packaging only is so small
Okay.
that you can't. There's no ingredients mentioned. There's no nutritional label mentioned, right? Even on our packaging, because it's a pack of 15, we have enough space to mention everything on it. But if you see any candy, you can pick any candy, the 1 rupee pulse or any of that. The packaging does not have enough space. So what they do is they say for the nutritional label, refer to the box.
Huh.
Now when you're buying it,
You don't get the
obviously,
box.
exactly, right? So people don't even know what ingredients a chewing gum has, right? And they usually just call it gum base. Now what is gum base made up of? Right? It's a blend of polymers, plastics together. So it's the same ingredients that go into tires, glue, that forms the gum base. And then there's 3-4 other synthetic ingredients that go into a chewing gum. So that's why
That's why probably people never thought of, reading the
Exactly.
labeling behind. Okay. So what is that, shocked you literally, okay, this industry needs me. This is something very shocking behind this.
There was nothing like a eureka moment of sorts. I
Okay.
wanted to build a business in India, something in the food space. I spent some time in sales for a beverage company. I realized, selling beverages in India is impossible because there's limited space and beverages come with a shorter shelf life. There's limited space in a supermarket to even put your product. And because you're shipping water, it's equivalent to shipping stones. So it takes a lot of money, effort to distribute beverage products. In the same way with snacks, it's a lot of air. So again, distribution is very, very difficult. And particularly in these two industries, anybody can enter at any point in time because there's so many factories available. So tomorrow you want to start an energy drink product, you can go to a factory, end to end they'll give you a product, right? All you have to do is design the packaging and tell them I want these flavors, these many liters, and they'll send it to you.
Okay.
So anybody can enter, there's no moat around it. But with chewing gum I realized that it's a high shelf life, small product. I can ship from Bangalore to any part of the country. It's not very it's not challenging for distribution, and I knew how to make a differentiated chewing gum. So that's how I said, okay, it makes business sense, it makes value sense, in the sense I wanted to make chewing gum, I wanted to make products that I would consume myself. Right? I just didn't want to launch a product that was high fat, high sugar, which would be very addictive and I would make a lot of money. That's not who I am. I'd want to make products that are cleaner and that's what motivates me. So it made both ethics sense and business sense, and that's how I started with chewing gum.
But then how did the idea of, getting into chewing gum industry came into place?
So like I said, I wanted to build a business there. I knew how to make a chewing gum. I had a differentiator. So in order to sell a product in India, firstly you need a strong differentiator. Like, why is your product better than the others? So I had a strong differentiator which I could say that your regular chewing gums are all made of plastic and I can give you a chewing gum that is completely natural. So the differentiator was there. I knew where to sell, how to sell. I knew how to make it. And
Because you had the past experiences.
exactly.
Okay.
And I had the time in the lockdown. So I spent some time in the kitchen, made the product, gave it out to about 200, 300 friends of family members, etc. Got some feedback. And majority of the people liked it. And I said, okay, let's just dive in, because there's not a lot of competitors. What brands do you know? You know the same Center Fruit, Center Fresh, that's owned by Perfetti. You know Boomer, Orbit, they're owned by Wrigley's. They're two large companies that run majority of the chewing gum business.
Okay.
So there is an amount of room for other brands to enter. And now we're adding functions into the chewing gums where it becomes a part of your everyday lifestyle. So earlier chewing gums were chewed only by kids for fun, to blow a bubble, get a tattoo and then
Yes.
throw it away.
Yep.
But now we say, if you chew a gum every day, you'll not have to go to the dentist. If you chew a gum every day, you probably don't even need a cup of coffee.
Correct.
Right? So we are adding functions into the gums where you can eat more of our products on a everyday basis.
In fact, that was my next question, because people who are looking at my podcast right now, even they would start asking themselves, why am I watching this
Exactly.
podcast, Good Gum? It's not relevant to me. So who are your consumers and what they can expect from this product?
Got it. So we essentially have 4 verticals of products. Firstly, it's just one of the products that we have is a sugar-free all-natural chewing gum. So when I say sugar-free all-natural, it's a biodegradable chewing gum with no
Okay.
artificial ingredients, no artificial sweeteners. So it's a chewing gum that anybody can eat, a kid, an adult, a diabetic. it'll just prevent cavities, and it's fun to eat.
So this is for kids as
It's
well.
for
So
kids as
my
well.
son would be super happy.
100%. You can go ahead. So that's our those are our flavors like raspberry, lemon, strawberry, and mint. Second, we have a caffeinated chewing gum. The caffeinated chewing gums comes with 40 milligrams of caffeine and 80 milligrams of L-theanine per piece of gum. Now, to give you perspective, 40 milligrams is what a small cup of filter coffee contains
Generally
in
contain.
caffeine, right? So when you're eating one piece of that chewing gum, you're getting the kick of 1 cup of coffee. Now, how is this different than coffee? Is coffee does not have L-theanine, and L-theanine helps you metabolize that caffeine in a slow fashion. So when
Okay.
you're chewing a caffeinated gum versus you drinking a cup of coffee, when you drink a cup of coffee, you get a spike of caffeine and then you get a crash, right? So that gives you those jitters, or you feel that anxiety after coffee. But with chewing gum, what happens is you're chewing it over the course of 15-20 minutes. So you're getting a sustained release of caffeine. You don't get you don't get a spike and then a crash, but you get like a sustained release of energy. So you feel more in, like the focus mode or in the zen mode, right?
Okay.
So we've launched 4 flavors in that space. So there's cola, there's coffee, there's raspberry, and there's mint in the caffeinated gum.
Okay.
The third variant that we have is a dental gum. Now this is where it gets interesting, because all our chewing gums are anti-cavity, but this dental gum helps you fill up your cavities,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it has an ingredient called nanohydroxyapatite. Now, hydroxyapatite is what our enamel is made up of, right? Now, when you're drinking coffee, when you're drinking Coke, when you're eating a very high carbohydrate meal, all of that carbohydrate is feeding the bacteria mouth, and that bacteria is going to make holes. Now, there are certain holes which are large, which are called the cavities, and there are certain holes that are still very tiny, but they can become cavities over time. So, if you chew our dental gum after every meal of yours, that hydroxyapatite is like cement for your teeth. If there's any small holes, it'll fill it up over time.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's totally nice.
exactly. So that's where we're adding function, right? Like that's when I can get you to eat a chewing gum after your breakfast, after your lunch, after your dinner, and you don't have to worry about your
So you have to
dental
have 3
hygiene.
times in that way?
Yeah, the more the
Okay.
better.
More the
right?
better. Okay.
But it still works out cheaper than going to a dentist and getting a root canal done. Right?
True.
So this is proactive care. In India, people are always reactive in dentistry.
Okay.
They'll say, okay, cavity ho jayega, we'll go to the dentist, we'll get it filled, because it's so cheap and dentists are so readily available.
Yes, yes.
But if you know your friends in the US, you know how expensive dentistry is over there. And that's why you see everybody chew sugar-free gum after every meal of theirs, because they have to ensure that their cavities don't become large and they don't have to get root canals done. So that's our dental chewing gum. And we also have a fourth vertical, which is confectionery. So we are making... So our idea is to be the good amongst the bad.
Okay.
That's why the brand name Good Gum. And now we have a product called Good Pops, which is competing with the product like Cadbury Nutties.
Okay.
Cadbury Nutties has a candied cashew core with chocolate on top. So there's sugar inside and there's sugar outside. And if I were to ask you, you can easily eat 3 packs at once, because there's no fiber in it and it's just sugar, and your stomach does not know when to stop and you'll just keep eating it. Now we just did a basic innovation. We removed that sugar cashew core and we put chana in it. Right?
Okay.
So it's roasted chickpeas coated with chocolate. Roasted chickpeas naturally is high in protein and fiber. So the sugar goes half and you're adding protein and fiber into the same product. Now it's tasty. And even if you want, you can't eat more than 2 packs because it'll make you feel full.
Right.
And it's convenient. You can put it on your ice cream. You can put it into your protein shake. You can give it to your kids as well.
It's
so
the
we're
best
looking to
snack.
build in the confectionery space.
Yeah, good snack in a
Yeah.
way. But coming to the flavor section, how did you decide on which flavors to go first? How did you start with the innovation of the flavors?
I think any innovation comes from solving your own problem first, right? If I were to start a t-shirt brand, I would make a color that I would once want to wear, right? The same way with the chewing gums.
Then you're a coffee person?
Yeah, I'm a coffee person.
Okay.
Initially, when I started, the only 4 flavors that we had were the mint, raspberry, strawberry, lemon.
Acha.
Right? The mint that we have is very, very different. Your regular mints out there in Orbit, Happydent, it's a very strong mint. But as a consumer, I like something more mellow. So if you've had tidbits, these are those green candies
Small,
when we grew up. Those are very addictive, and that had a very nice light mellow mint flavor. So I thought, okay, let's make a chewing gum with the same flavor, and it actually clicked. We added a little bit of charcoal into it, and that's our top seller, charcoal
Okay.
spearmint chewing gum.
Okay.
So we made a mint which is not unlike the others. The same way, I love lemon. The only chewing gum out there was Orbit's lemon, and it was very different. And I stumbled upon an ingredient that gave it a very nice lemon flavor. So that's how we came up with lemon. Strawberry and raspberry, because Indians love berries, but they don't get access to good fresh berries. So anything berry works, and that's how we made that flavor. So
Yeah. Okay.
it was also a question of what flavors were readily available from the vendor.
Yeah.
And what also made sense to us, because it has to make, again, business sense and
Yes.
technical sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And also to start with the market, you have to know what people like and then
Yeah.
start with that, right? And also once you launched Good Gum and also you gave the awareness about what the product is and all that, how was your consumers' behavior?
Consumer behavior is very, very different. People were used to eating a 1 rupee chewing gum, right? All our life we've eaten a 1 rupee or a 2 rupee chewing gum. Now, if I tell you, hey, this is a pack of 15 for 90 rupees, straight up you'll say, okay, why will I pay 6 rupees for a gum, right? So, perspective of consumers firstly was always on pricing. That was like their key decision maker. But we spent a lot of time, we kept educating people. We said, we don't use a regular plastic gum base. We're not using sugar, we're using xylitol. So all of these ingredients are inherently 4 to 5 times more expensive than your regular ingredients,
chewing gum.
right? And that's why the chewing gums costs are higher. Plus, all of our chewing gums are still hand rolled and hand cut. So we're employed about 22 people from underprivileged backgrounds, because machines are expensive. We've not invested so much money into equipment yet, and that's why overheads are higher. So we kept justifying the cost to people, and over time people let go of the cost, and they said, okay, the product is good, we'll continue eating it. Another feedback that we kept getting since day one is that the flavor does not last long, right?
Okay. Okay. Towards the end, it
Yeah, not
removes
towards the
flavor.
end, but like in general, the gums within 2 minutes the flavor fades off.
Fades
right?
off, yeah.
And that's what natural gums are supposed to be like. Now, if I were to give you a piece of strawberry and you eat it, once you've swallowed it, how long will the flavor linger in your mouth? Probably like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. If the flavor lingered in your mouth for 4 minutes, even after you've swallowed it, wouldn't you find something fishy?
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Now, people have been eating artificially flavored and sweetened gums all their life, that their taste palates think that is what it should be like. We don't use any of those nasty artificial sweeteners. So, you'll know these ingredients because you're from the food space, but there's aspartame, there's acesulfame potassium, there's saccharin, there is a couple of more ingredients that, the usual chewing gums company use.
Yes.
And these are 600 to 900 times sweeter than sugar, which means even if I'm using 0.5 grams of it, it gives the sweetness of 300 grams of sugar. But these are artificial ingredients, right? And you would have seen a lot of WHO reports out there, which does not completely give a clean sheet to these ingredients yet, saying it's not completely safe. No, we don't use any of that. If I were to use any of that, then the flavors would last as long as 5 minutes, and 10 minutes you can chew my gum.
Correct.
But we made a constructive choice not to use those ingredients. We use xylitol, which is a fruit alcohol, which is great for your teeth. We use stevia, we use monk fruit. All three are natural sweeteners.
Yes.
And the natural ability of these sweeteners is to get digested by your saliva within 30 to 60 seconds, and that's when the flavor fades off. So again, we keep telling our consumers this is why the flavors don't last long. If you want to get more flavor, then probably pop another chewing gum. That's all it is, right? But it's been very reassuring. Earlier you would buy mangoes which were artificially ripened. The color would be great, the texture would be the best, the sweetness would be good. But then came organic mangoes. Now, organic mangoes are not as good looking. They might have some insects in it.
Right.
The color might not be the best, and the sweetness also might not be the best. But you're still okay to pay a premium for that organic mango and eat it, because you know that the artificially ripened
Ripe
mangoes
mangoes
are probably bad for you. So the same way, we hope that people understand that those artificially sweetened gums are bad for them, and they start picking our chewing gum. That's all. So it will take some time, but people will adopt.
Yeah, and I also think, with, once they keep using it, then probably they'll understand what is
Exactly.
gone into it.
Yeah.
And also, as you said, there are a lot of other ingredients which has gone into, the chewing gums basically. And every ingredient has a permissible limit.
Yeah.
Wherein, I don't think a lot of people don't follow the permissible limit. So one has one permissible limit, other one has one. So they use everything altogether, which is, you don't know what is gone into what. So
there are chewing gums with warning signs on it saying don't consume more than 2 a day.
Yes.
Now,
exactly.
how can you make sure if a kid gets his hand on that chewing gum, he'll eat 6 a day, he'll eat 8 a day. Does he know how to read that? Can you stop him from doing it?
No, definitely not. And especially, knowing what's gone inside is very much important because, what I also observed is the buds which we use, right?
Yeah.
Which we use. Basically, behind that, cover, it is always written, don't use it in your ears, and where we buy only for that reason. Right?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know this. I'll have to go observe.
Yes, please go and
Yeah.
observe.
Yeah.
Okay, every packet has that, wherein we use only for that, we buy only for that. Okay, so, every product has, we need to know what to look on for every product, even if it's a food product or the product which we use it for ourselves, right? So it's a very, very big warning sign for all of us right here.
Like, why do you want to eat products with a warning sign firstly?
Firstly, yes,
right? When
exactly.
there are products available that are clean, then why do you have to eat any of these things that have a warning sign?
Of course.
Now, a can of Red Bull says don't consume more than 2 cans a day. But if a person goes out for a party, he'll probably have 4, 5, 6.
Aram se.
And if he does that 5 days a week, then what happens to his metabolism? His heart rate is going to be elevated all the time. He'll get hypertensive, all of that. So, great, Red Bull is all right, but for people who don't understand how much to consume, when to consume, that's where the problem arises.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to the sustainable part. Okay, so your product is a sustainable product wherein in Indian market it is very difficult to sustain. Have you ever thought or probably have worried on it, like saying, if I have such kind of product, it will be very difficult for me to sustain in the market, or probably it will be very difficult to compete the established brands. What is the take on that?
So earlier, when we started, we called ourselves a plastic-free chewing gum. That means even our packaging was plastic-free, right? We were packing the gums. So right now, if you open this, you will see a Ziploc inside.
Okay. Can we just see?
Sure. So it comes with a Ziploc like this. There are also papers for you to spit the gums.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That's nice. I like that part.
Right? So earlier, we were packing the gums directly into the paper box.
Okay.
Because we wanted to be plastic free. But Bangalore is dry. We did not have any issues. The minute we sent the gums to humid places like Pondicherry, Goa, Vishakhapatnam, then the chewing gums would start having stains on the packaging because it has an ingredient called xylitol, which is very hygroscopic. Basically, it attaches to the atmospheric moisture and becomes moist. And there would be stains on the packaging. We also put a note saying, it is natural for these gums to sweat. Like we sweat in a humid place, our gums are also sweating. It's natural.
It's natural.
But people didn't understand, and they thought that we were, giving them something faulty.
Oh.
And there were returns from all the places. They said, hey, it's something stale, this, that. And that's when we had to, start using these Ziploc pouches. So currently now we work with, recyclers to, kind of offset the amount of plastic that we generate. So we pay them to, recycle the same amount of plastic. But yeah, that was like a long conversation between my brother and myself because he is that 100% sustainability freak and I'm the business person, right?
One has to be the other way, of course.
Now I told him I cannot scale the product if I don't start using plastic.
Yeah.
I'm a chemical engineer also.
Yes.
Plastic is a great material, right? It's just not used properly.
Correct.
Now I am not launching single-use chewing gums because it will be a lot of single-use plastic. That's why we're only doing packs of 15 where this larger piece of plastic holds 15 pieces and there won't be any smaller fragments in our environment. It's still a larger piece that goes out. That's why a lot of people ask us, why don't you launch single pieces, this, that. We don't want to do that. As minimal as possible, we want to use plastic.
Okay.
So that's how we moved from being completely sustainable to being half sustainable.
And also coming from a chemical engineer, so obviously your minds have gone behind it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like a long discussion, but then we had to do what we had to do.
Sustainability is everywhere nowadays, even the consumers know about it, even in the conversations, like founder conversations, all that we talk about sustainability. But what do you think, why the sustainability came into place? Is it because of the trend, or probably this is also a point of scaling the business right now in today's
see, one of the biggest learnings I've got in the last 3 years of building this business is that consumers will never pay a premium for a sustainable product, right? If I were to pitch and say that, hey, this is a chewing gum that's great for the planet, they'll be like, okay, so what? Like, I don't want to buy it. So initially our pitch used to be, it's a planet-friendly chewing gum. But then one day we realized that, how about we change the pitch and we actually tell people that, hey, it's a better for you chewing gum, but it's also good for the planet. That's when things really changed. People in India care for more about what goes into their body than what goes into the environment, right? And that's when people are willing to pay a premium and buy the gums, because they knew, okay, regular chewing gums may cause some issues in my system, but this chewing gum is a cleaner version. And hey, it's also sustainable. Now, if I were to tell you that, hey, can you pay 10 rupees extra just because it's sustainable, you will never opt in for that option.
True.
Right?
True.
So that's the day we changed our narrative, and then we became a better for you product than a better for the planet product. So sustainability is a good to have keyword in your business, but that will not land you any investors. It will not land you any new consumers. It is good to have, right? It's an accessory that people would like to flex about, that, oh, I'm buying a sustainable product, but they'll not pay a premium for it. That's
it's challenging in a way. That's the reality challenge you're facing, right? But if people like you don't come up with such products, we never know something like this can also exist.
Correct. So for us, Good Gum is also a way of moving towards a better lifestyle.
That's what.
Right? So when I tell you that this chewing gum is a small step towards you working towards a better planet, somewhere or the other, I'm planting that seed of sustainability in your mind. We also sell tote bags on our website. We sell metal straws. Right? So people can make small incremental changes and move towards being a little bit more sustainable. So our idea is to tell that you don't have to be 100% sustainable, but you can start making smaller changes that don't affect your everyday lifestyle. I carry a straw, I carry a flask, I carry a water bottle, and I carry a shopping bag on all days of my
wherever you go.
Wherever I go, right? It takes as little as that much.
Correct.
So there's a quote that I staunchly follow, is that we don't need 100 people doing zero waste 100%, but we need 1 million people doing zero waste 10%.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It can be as small as that.
Yeah, and that is what the best we can give to the next generation, because already too many things have been spoiled right now.
You just go down the road on HSR, the drains everywhere you see, there's so much plastic lying around. If people can't care about it now, then I don't know what our kids are going to drink and eat.
True. Let's start with few. Okay, coming to you being in the Shark Tank, right? It is something which is very interesting for me to talk about, because Shark Tank also gives a bigger platform for you to showcase what your product is all about, right? So how was your experience at Shark Tank?
It was fantastic, right? It was like a dream. I've grown up watching Sony TV. I've grown up watching Kaun Banega Crorepati, etc. All these reality shows, were somewhat someday the dream. When I was manifesting second season, we were watching at home, and my granny, she doesn't hear well, but she knows that looking at the episodes or looking at Shark Tank, she knows that people come here, they talk, they walk out with a check. And she told me, like, why don't you go? You're also building a business. Why don't you go? I said, we'll probably apply. Let's see. And we applied. Everything panned out in our favor. We got to go on TV. It was a very fun experience. It's a lot of people think it's scripted. It's not. A lot of people think you need to pay to go on it. That's not the case. It's a standard audition process. There's a couple of interview rounds. There's an in-person audition, and then you go. It's exactly not 45 minutes usually what it shows on TV. The conversation may go longer than that. The sharks were fun. The sharks usually don't know who's coming into the tank that day. So they don't have any knowledge about what brands they're going to meet on that
That's
day.
good, no? Because,
that's very good
that's-
because that's where deals are somewhere kind of broken. Also, a lot of people think that Shark Tank may people get a deal but they don't get the money. Really,
Yeah.
but
Lot of
that's the case when you've lied about your business, right? When you go into the tank, the sharks are making a deal purely on the basis of what you've told on that day. They don't even have their phones to even Google and check
what
whether or
is
not
happening.
if you're correct or no.
Correct,
Right?
correct.
So if you're told that your business is doing 10 crores of revenue a year, and when they go out and do due diligence and they actually realize it's 3 crores a year, then obviously they'll not give you that money. Right? So there's a lot of people who are bad mouthing Shark Tank saying the money does not come or the deals are just fraud and all of that. It's purely the companies who have lied on the tank.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we were very honest, we were very upfront. Whatever was our revenue, we actually portrayed that, and the sharks were kind enough to believe in our vision, and we got like a 4-shark deal.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, like the due diligence process goes on for at least 3-4 months. They look
Yeah,
at
of
your
course.
books.
Yeah, of course. The process has to go, right?
Because they're investing in so many companies in a season, so they have to go through all of those documents, ensure
Yes.
everything is
Yes.
on point. So yeah, that was all about the Shark Tank
So nice experience.
Yeah, it was very fun. Like anybody building should just go because there's nothing to lose.
Yeah, there's nothing to lose, and I also feel it is, you go and talk about it, a lot of other people are watching you. So
Yeah.
even if they don't, invest in you, but you are known to a lot of
Yeah,
people.
there's so many people who called us saying, hey, we want to distribute a product.
That's what.
Hey, we want
See?
to invest in your business. Hey, you want to import your products into South Africa, New Zealand. So all of that virality that we got back then, till today somewhere trickles down as marketing.
Yes,
right?
yes, and of course putting there, in your website that you were there at the Shark Tank, that itself.
It's a very strong proof of
Right.
concept.
Huh.
Before small instances, before when I would go to a retailer would say, why will people chew good gum? Right? People chew Happy Dent, people chew Orbit. It's cheap, it's available everywhere. Why will they buy good gum? It's not a brand, right? And I would say, okay, we'll wait for a day when people come asking for my product to your store.
Yeah.
And those very retailers started calling us and saying, hey, we want your product
See?
now. Right? So things can change, and India runs on television. A lot of trust can be built on
Correct.
television.
Correct.
So use that opportunity and just go there.
That's what.
Yeah.
Any opportunity, use it
Yeah,
wisely.
100%.
Okay, what if Okay, what if somebody would have given you an advice at the age of 22? Okay, how you would be now with a better advice at 22?
So I would rather frame it in a way where if I could give advice to a 22-year-old Mayank,
Of course.
I would tell, just do it, right? There was a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I thought I should be doing. And I feel there's never a better time than doing it right away, right?
Correct.
When I was in college, I didn't have to worry about rents. I didn't have to worry about, food on the table.
Yeah, over a
right? I
time
didn't
you
have to
get
worry
so
about
many
family,
responsibilities,
right?
yeah.
At that time, if I spent 4 hours, 5 hours after college building a business, I would have been at a very different place, right? So for any 22-year-old who's watching this, maybe I would say if you have an idea, just make it, just execute it, and at least get your first 100 customers.
Don't wait for the right time.
There's never a right time.
Right time, yes.
The right time is now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely one.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are at the end of the segment.
Super.
Okay, so we'll be playing just a common game, I would say, a rapid fire round.
Fire. All right.
Okay, but followed by that, there's one more game.
Done.
I'll explain you. Okay, so if you had to recommend good gum to 3 specific types of people, who would they be?
One would be the corporate guy who wants to step out for a smoke after his meal. If they chew our caffeinated gum, they'll probably not want to do that anymore. The second would be the person who drinks a lot of soda and eats a lot of coffee. He'll not have to go to the dentist if he eats my dental gums. And the third would be mothers like yourself who can give sugar-free chewing gum to their kids instead of giving them candies.
Lovely. Okay, one chewing gum myth everyone believes.
That if you swallow the gum, it'll stay in your stomach for 15 years. That's not the case. It'll come out in your poop tomorrow.
Okay. A gum flavor you have always wanted to create.
interesting. I want to really create a pan masala flavor for the larger Indian population because
Okay.
I'd say pan masala consumption is a pandemic, right? Everywhere you see, there's so much dirt, and there's so much dirt on people's mouth because of that product. If I
Yes.
can make a chewing gum that tastes like it, then I
Then
feel
probably the
I'm
problem is solved.
the cleanliness problem is solved. We'll actually have a Swachh Bharat.
Yes, correct. Please go ahead and do one.
Trying.
If Good Gum wasn't a company, gum company,
Yeah.
what would it be?
It would still be it would still be a food company. I'd
Okay.
probably be making chocolates.
Of course,
Yeah,
you
something.
have the strength behind that.
Yeah.
So, one ingredient you would remove from the FMCG industry forever.
Sugar.
I
Refined
expected
sugar.
actually.
Has to be.
Okay, so I have some ideas. Okay, so I just want you to tell me, would you be investing on these ideas?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
AI therapist.
Yeah.
Therapist.
Therapist. Yeah, I would invest.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay. Plant-based dairy.
Plan B.
Plant-based dairy.
Plant-based dairy. Yes, I would invest.
Okay. Protein-rich Indian snack.
100%.
Okay. Lab-grown food.
No.
Kombucha brands.
If they are actually what they say they are, yes. Because
Okay.
a lot of kombuchas are just soft drinks out there today.
Yeah,
So original kombuchas, yes.
Okay. Sustainable fashion.
Sustainable
Fashion.
fashion. If they're not greenwashing, yes.
Okay.
If they're real, then yes, yeah.
Okay, so most
Yeah.
of it was yes, but I expected that AI therapist will be no, but it was a surprisingly yes.
I was hoping you will expect lab grown food to be yes, but like
no.
I still want my food to be grown in soil.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Okay, so if you had just 30 seconds to completely change people's perspective towards, chewing gum,
Yeah.
okay, what would you tell them?
So chewing gums are not meant for just leisure. Chewing gums are far more than just a fun product. If used properly, they can help you think better. They can help you sleep better. They can also help you eat better because it'll take care of your teeth. So switch to the better chewing gum. Ditch your regular 1 rupee gums and
Right.
move to a better chewing gum because it'll make you a better person.
Lovely. It was really nice talking to you, and I think
you.
there's so many learnings about the chewing gum today. So, probably people who would not even, eat chewing gum, there is so many other benefits,
Yeah.
attached to it. So, probably eating chewing gum will also give you a lot of other values.
100%.
So, go ahead, try good gum. That is
good
what
gum.
try good gum. That is what I would say,
Yeah.
and which is also safe for kids. So, of course, we can give them. Yeah. So,
Yep.
thank you
Super.
so much.
Thank you for calling me on this podcast. It was a